it was the right time to leave, or
Yes.
did you guys have differences?
Well, I just saw the writing on the wall. Dusty was, he's Booker slash babyface, right?
Right.
He's the guy with the pencil, plus he's the babyface too. And I was babyface in that territory for several years. I saw the writing on the wall. It started with Tully, and I would wrestle. I think at that time he had beat me for the TV belt. At that time, the time limit, even though the match was a 60-minute time limit, but for the first 20 minutes, the TV championship was up.
Right.
It made it kind of interesting, a little different. And so I would wrestle Tully all around the territory and beat him, but after the 20-minute mark. I'd win the match, but I didn't win the belt. So then we'd come back and we'd do interviews for the next shows and say, okay, we've extended the time limit to 30. So I would go, and the first time I think I beat him like in 25 minutes, 5 minutes over the time limit. So now we got 30 minutes. I said, well, I got 5 minutes to spare. So I'm going to win the belt. Well, we go all around the territory and I would beat him at, the 35 or 40 minute mark. Just 5 or 10 minutes after the 30-minute mark. Then we went around, I think we went as far around as a third time with Blanchard, in which we extended the time limit to 45 minutes on the belt. And it was in Greensboro, and I beat him like in 47 minutes or something like that, 2 minutes after the. And Blanchard had a great way of painting a picture of being able to show the fans how he could cheat the time. In other words, people kept saying, how in the world was he able to keep extending, staying away from you? First you went 20 minutes, and then you went 30 minutes, now you're going 45. And every single time you kept beating him like 2 or 3 minutes after the time limit expired. So everybody thought it was, damn Steve, but you're going to get him next time because they just gave you an extra 10 minutes. You're going to get him for sure. But Blanchard had a great persona and a great way of projecting, and the people could see it. Oh, he's stalling, and all this and all that.
Right.
It's just, damn, and I'd be chasing after him, running around and all this and all that. But after we had done that Greensboro match, in which I didn't beat him for the belt, but I did beat him, and it was only a couple minutes after the time limit expired. And Dusty came back to Greensboro after that match with Blanchard and beat Tully in 12 minutes and took the TV belt. And then Dusty immediately started hooking me up with Nikita Koloff. So I think Nick at that time had just been working a year or two in the business. And he big Russian, had a great look about him. And I think, and a new heel, a new guy on the block. So I saw the writing on the wall because I saw things that were happening on TV. He'd have Nikita come up and clothesline me from behind as I'm walking up the aisle back to the locker room and stuff like that. And then I know that he's just trying to build up Nikita because I could see, and which happened later on, the writing on the wall was that it was Dusty and Nikita. It's, the American Dream against the Russian Nightmare.
Right.
So it looked good on paper. So I just decided it was time for, I've been there for several years, time for me to go. George Scott at that time was booking for Vince, starting up there with the big WrestleManias and everything. And I think timing was good for me to go.
Now, how different was the WF when you first entered it compared to Jim Crockett's promotion?
At that time, all the guys, oh man, we're going to be flying everywhere instead of driving. We're going to be flying to Philly, Dallas, LA. And instead of driving. I remember that was a big comment with everybody. Trying to find out, everybody wanted to get back to driving. You could pull over at a gas stop and